this video, I'll be showing you that you don't need an oven or a cake mixer to bake and decorate a simple birthday cake for yourself. You need to watch this video to the end. Hello my beautiful family members, you all are welcome to my channel. So let's get started. Here are the list of the ingredients that I'll be using. Margarine, and this is my margarine, and this is the brand that I prefer to use. You can use any brand as well. Some egg, sugar, baking powder, vanilla flavor. I have clear vanilla flavor and dark vanilla flavor. Some flour. I also have some powdered milk, which is optional. You can skip that if you don't want. The next step is to measure out all our ingredients. When it comes to baking, measurement is very key, and your measurements have to be accurate for you to get the accurate results. So if you don't have a scale, you can get one, or you can do this in the market. The list of the measurements and every other thing will be in the description box below. Please check. The next thing that I'm doing now is to measure out my flour, and as you can see that I am sieving my flour. Please always sieve your flour before using it. And the next thing I'll be adding now to my flour is my baking powder. You also sieve your baking powder into your flour. Please sieve these things together. And the next thing I'm adding now is my powdered milk, and I'll combine this together and set aside. With my turning stick, I'll start by mixing my butter. So I'm just going to mix this butter a little bit, just to make the butter soft a little bit before adding my sugar. So after adding my sugar, I'll start by mixing my butter and sugar together. It's always important to always scrape your butter together. Then you continue mixing. I have to sit down so that I can mix this properly. Another tip is that this can be done ahead of time or a day before. Just make sure you cover it and keep it on your countertop till when you are ready to use it. I mean your butter and sugar only that you cream. So the next thing now, I'm just going to crack in one egg and continue creaming this together. I'm adding my vanilla flavor now, so I'm using the dark vanilla flavor only. Can you see how creamy my batter is? So the next thing, I'll add the rest of the egg one after the other. After adding all my egg, this is what my batter looked like before adding my flour. So I'll start adding my flour bit by bit. So I'll add a little bit, then I'll mix that in slowly. This is what my cake batter look like after adding my flour. You can see how creamy my batter is, and this is a simple vanilla cake recipe. So the next thing I'm showing you now is how to prepare your baking pan. So what I'm doing now, I'm just rubbing a little bit of margarine all over the pan, then I'll sprinkle some flour inside, then I'll mix this and let this go around the flour. You can see what I am doing in this video, the way I'm doing it. I'm just going to dust out the excess flour from the pan before adding my batter. So I'm going to add my batter to my pan now. So while adding your batter, please don't overfill your pan. The next thing, I'm just going to tap this on my table just to make sure everything is leveled out. And this is my pot. So I've preheated my pot already on a very low heat. So I'm not adding anything. I'm not adding sand. I'm not putting anything. The only thing I'll be putting inside that pot is just a stainless plate. And the reason for this stainless plate is just for the cake to sit on it. So you can use anything that you know that your cake can sit on very well. Then I'm going to use my foil paper to cover this first. Then I'll make sure it is well covered. Then I'll place the cover of the pot on it. So I'm just adding another cover because that cover is actually heavy, just to give it some support. Then I'll allow this to bake. After baking for 30 to 35 minutes, this is what I have. Can you see how lovely my cake come out? So I just insert a barbecue stick at the middle to be sure that the cake is fully baked. And I'm going to allow this to cool down before the next step, because we are definitely going to decorate this cake. For the second step, I'm just going to prepare a simple buttercream. And to prepare my buttercream, I'll start by measuring my margarine. So once I measure my margarine, I'll set it aside, then I'll sieve my icing sugar. So it is important to sieve your icing sugar, because at times most of the icing sugar comes with lumps, and if you don't sieve it, you will not get a smooth buttercream. So after sieving my icing sugar, I'll start by creaming my butter. So this is just my butter that I am creaming. So I'm going to cream this butter very well until it is very light. And you can see the color of the butter changing. Can you see the texture of my buttercream, and can you see the color of my butter? This is just my butter. So I'll start by adding my icing sugar little by little. If you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and be part of this family. I share amazing recipe on my YouTube channel that you are definitely going to love. And once you subscribe, please don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that when next I drop a new video, you will be notified. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share this video, and also drop some comments in the comment section so that this video will also reach a large audience to benefit from it. At this point, I'm just going to add some water, then I'll continue mixing. Please, when making your buttercream, don't add too much of water. A little water will go a long way. You don't need to add so many water at the beginning. So the next thing I'm adding now is my flavor. So I'm going to mix that in, and this is my buttercream. Can you see that my buttercream is not too light and is not too watery? So you don't have to add so many water to your buttercream. So this is just the perfect consistency that you should look out for. Can you even see that it's not even falling off from the spatula? So this is the perfect consistency for your buttercream. Can you see how smooth it is? So the next thing, I'm just going to cover this and I'm going to allow this to rest before using it to decorate my cake. And this is my buttercream. Moving on to the last part, which is actually the decorating of the cake, and this is actually the second day. Yes, so I have my cake with me, my buttercream, my cake board, and some basic decorating equipment like cake comb and my palette knife. So I'm just going to unwrap my cake. Because I was not using the cake immediately, that is why I have to wrap it up so that my cake will not dry out. So the first thing I'll be doing is to trim my cake. Whenever you bake your cake and you have some burnt parts, just trim off those burnt parts, and that is what I'm actually doing. And the next thing I'm doing is I'm trimming off the top so that I can level the cake. So I'll be doing the same thing with the second one because I'm actually going to stack the two cakes together. The next thing I'm doing now is that I'm taking part of the buttercream, then I add a little bit of water just to loosen it up because I'll be using this as my cake filling. Then I'll also be using it to crumb coat the cake as well. So this is the consistency I have. It's very light. So I'm just going to use this to fill my cake before stacking the two cakes together. So after stacking my cake, I'll just trim it a little bit. So I'm just trimming the side a little bit. It's not necessary that your trimming should be that perfect. It's just buttercream. I'm just doing this so that the both cake, the top and the down part, can level together. So after trimming the cake, the next thing I'll start to crumb coat my cake. So I'm just going to apply the buttercream from the top, then I'll spread it out. After covering the top, I'll move to the side of the cake and also crumb coat it. So what I'm doing here is that the side of that cake is not well leveled and is opened. So I'm using the cake crumb to fill it. So once I finish filling that place, I'll use my buttercream to seal it up and crumb coat everything together. So the next thing I'm doing now, I'm using my smoother just to smooth the cake out so that I will have a perfect finishing. I'll also be repeating the same process for the top. So I will use my palette knife and smooth out the top. This is my crumb coat cake or dirty icing. So the next thing, I'm just going to clean out everything, clean the crumbs before continue. Make sure you clean your work surface because the crumbs can affect the cake when you start covering your cake. So the next thing after the crumb coat is for me to cover this cake. So I'm just taking some of the buttercream again, then I add just a drop of water just to smooth out the buttercream. So I'm going to start from the top again. Then once I apply my buttercream on the top of my cake, I'm just going to spread it out. You can see the way I'm spreading it out. And be careful with whatever you place your cake on. Make sure you hold your cake very well. If you have a turntable, you can use it. so it will make your work very easy. I'm using that in case you don't have a turntable. You can actually use anything that you have at hand. Then once you cover the top of the cake very well, make sure you smooth it out. So that is what I'm doing. I'm smoothing the top out before moving to the side. Then the next thing is I'm doing the side of my cake. I will apply my buttercream, then I'll spread it out. Whenever I want to apply the next one, I will connect it from where I stopped from the previous one. Then I'll spread everything out. So after applying your buttercream all over your cake, the next thing is that you will smooth out your cake. You are going to do this carefully. Then you smooth out so that you smooth out the excess buttercream. I'm just repeating the same process again just to give it this perfect finishing. Next thing now I'm doing is I'm smoothing the top with my palette knife. So I'm using the excess buttercream while I was smoothing the side. So I'm just smoothing that in. So just to give the top another perfect finishing. Let me know in the comment section if you'll be giving this a try, and don't forget to share your experience with me. At this point, insert your cake topper and your cake is ready, and this is your simple birthday cake. The next thing I want to show you is a trick on how to achieve a smooth buttercream cake. So this hack I'm about to show you is going to help you. So I apply some coloring to my buttercream because I want to use this for a design. But this particular design I'm doing, you can skip it if you don't want to design your cake. So you can just move straight to the next step after the design. So what I'm just doing is that I'm just applying some dots with my nozzle. So all over the cake. The tip of the nozzle I'm using is tip 5, a round nozzle. So I'm just applying this all over the body of the cake. So the next thing I'm going to show you is the arc. So you get your paper towel, and once you get your paper towel, you split it into 2. After splitting this into 2, you are going to take one part of it and use it to wrap the whole cake. Make sure you wrap it very well. Once you finish wrapping the whole cake, then you get a smoother, your cake smoother, and you will use it to smooth out the cake. You will do this carefully. Then after you finish smoothing the whole cake, you realize that you are going to achieve a very smooth cake. So if you don't want the design on the body of the cake, because it's actually a polka dot design and this is how you can achieve it. So if you don't want the design, you can skip the design and use the paper towel round the cake and smooth out your cake, and that is it. Can you see? With this, we achieve a perfect smooth and neat cake. Then you repeat the same process on the top of the cake too as well. See how smooth the cake is, then you place your cake topper and that's it. If you can pipe, you feel free to pipe, or if you have anything you want to use to decorate or as an accessories, you can just put it. And this is it, how to bake a simple birthday cake. No cake mixer, no oven, and we have a beautiful birthday cake ready. So go ahead and make a cake for yourself on your next birthday. So shall we cut our birthday cake? So can you see how lovely this cake is? So I'll love you guys to try it. So till I come your way in my next video, keep believing in yourself. Thank you guys. Bye bye.